This is Griffin Hall, and it's my first time back in more than 30 years. This is where we presented this thesis in May of 1985. It's a little emotional to come back because I realize how far I've come personally in 30 years, and obviously how far Youth Volunteer Corps has come from just an idea and a thesis. In a real way, Youth Volunteer Corps can trace its beginnings to this room. It was May of 1985, May 10th to be exact, and four friends and I together had spent all spring semester of our senior year studying the issue of national service. One of the funny things about the thesis is it took some convincing of our professor to get him to allow us to study national service. Because we went to him, Professor Brown, and he said, national service, you're going to spend all semester studying one topic, and there's just not enough going on with national service right now. I think you need to go back and pick a broader topic. And we said, we really want to do this. We're excited about national service. We ourselves had done volunteer work, all of us, but we went back to Professor Brown and said, please, can we please study national service? Here's why we want to do it. Here's why we feel there is plenty to study for a whole semester. And he relented and said, okay, I'll let you do your thesis on national service. We had to spend the first 3 days of spring break going and visiting with public policymakers down in Washington, D.C., who were interested in some level in national service. All kinds of interesting people who ended up becoming mentors of mine during the course of that 3 days in March of 1985. And that's part of what got me excited to go into this really as a profession and to try to get something started, because I saw a need, and the need I saw was in part because of writing the thesis here at Williams College. I remember presenting that thesis, and we have a picture of that day, and of course I look just the same as I did back then, except for maybe a couple extra pounds. When we came in early on that day to get the table set up in the front and get our thoughts in order and figure out who's going what order, and we were all dressed up, and we were nervous because we knew coming into that room were going to be fellow political economy majors who were told specifically by the professors to ask difficult questions. But we did pretty darn well. I was happy with how it went that day, and here's a couple things that we had to say as part of that thesis that I want to read to you. In our research for the thesis, we looked at a Gallup poll, and I think it's appropriate today just as it was back in 1985. It appears youth are ready to serve. After conducting an extensive survey on American youth, George Gallup Jr. concluded, quote, "There's a strong desire to serve others. I think the youth population has been misnamed the self-centered generation. Our teenage population is clearly frustrated. They want to be a part of society. They do not want a free ride. The problem we face in America today is not a lack of willingness to serve or to help others, but to find the appropriate outlet for their zeal to help others." In our thesis, I wanted to read a portion here that I think is very apropos. Allowing youth the opportunity to work out an identity that includes a sense of citizenship and to affirm positive social values is beneficial to society. Formal education does not meet this need. Service provides youth with a chance to make a genuine commitment to others. Service engages youth in a group enterprise directed toward concrete goals. Whenever such opportunities have been offered, they have tended to bring out the best in young people. Through YVC, young people see needs in the community. I want them to see the need, but also to feel empowered that they can make a difference. And that is very much what I felt coming out of this room 32 years ago, is that I was going out in the wide world and trying to make a difference in an area that I felt like, I'm 22 years old, but I can still change the world. And that's very true for the 11 to 18-year-olds who serve in Youth Volunteer Corps all over the United States and Canada. That empowerment that comes from seeing a need, seeing a problem, learning a little bit about it, and then saying, I can help solve this problem. It's been fun reminiscing. I'll definitely put it on my calendar to come back again in 30 years. But in the meantime, there's a big world out there, and we have a lot of work to do.